Okay, everybody, this is my kind of mini review overview of the Bloody Baron. My goal here is to kind of talk to people that are thinking about building this plane or figuring out when they should build it versus other flight test planes, and just give you some information so that you can better make a decision. So this is my fourth flight test build. The first thing I built was the triple speed build kit, where you get the nutball, flyer, and delta. And in summary, compared to those, this thing flies like a dream. That said, I don't necessarily recommend it as a very first plane because it has ailerons, and the plane will not self-right itself. Something you want to look for in the first plane, assuming you're not practicing on a simulator, is dihedral, either dihedral or polyhedral in the wings, so that the plane tends to self-right. And then, of course, being high wing helps. But, you know, once you kind of get the hang of orientation and righting the plane, jump right into this one because it flies wonderfully. So let's talk about the build a little bit. So it took me about 6 hours to build this plane. I think, you know, if you're rushing through it, you could probably do it in 2 hours, or if you really, you know what you're doing. But I took my time and sealed up all the seams with hot glue, you know, all around the edge and in there, and reinforced with tape, and went slow. So that's how long it took. And that's with the speed build kit. You can also opt to build this from scratch, but if you do, then, you know, it might take you 52% longer to maybe even twice as long. So you kind of have to decide if saving, I guess it's $40 for the speed kit, so you could probably save maybe 30 some dollars if that's worth, you know, 4 hours of your time. And you also have to factor in supporting flight tests, because they, you know, use that money as incentive to make more models and make more videos that help people learn about the hobby and get into the hobby and support the hobby. So, you know, both paths are definitely valid, and, you know, I would say either way is probably worth pursuing. It just kind of depends on your goals. So yeah, you can see that I put some stickers on there that I designed and just printed on the vinyl cutter. And I didn't paint it. I kind of wish I would have, because it flies so well. So it has water resistant foam, but if it's like the other planes, it doesn't last forever. After a while, the water does start to get through. Up here we have the propeller and motor. So I went with the B power pack. I actually didn't buy the B power pack, but I have equivalent 18 amp servo. I think this is a 1200 kV motor, and then that's an 843 prop. I went with XT30 connectors. I went with metal geared servos for this one. I don't know if it makes a difference, but man, have these servos been reliable, whereas in the plastic servo case, I've had some cases where I've questioned that. So I would, at least for me, from here forward, I'm going to spend the extra amount of money, you know, extra $2 a servo or whatever, and just get the metal ones. Is there anything else to say about the plane? I'm going to flip it over real quick. There's the bottom of it. You can actually even stick a battery on there. So yeah, you can see it's got Power Pack B. You can opt for Power Pack C if you want more power. It's got CG marked here and there. And one thing that's nice is that the CG is dead on for me. Balancing at the CG gives a really nice flight performance. Is there anything else I want to say? I think that's about it. So next I'm just going to put it in the air, and if I think of anything else to say, I'll just say it after that. So I'm going to fly for about 4 minutes. You can I actually get about 8-minute flights off of a 1000 milliamp battery, but I don't think I have 8 minutes worth of things to say. So I'll just put it in the air, fly it around, do a couple super basic acrobatics, and yeah, bring her down for a landing and wrap up. All right. Okay, so it's a pretty nice day out here, and I got the Bloody Baron all trimmed out and balanced. I have my thing set up so I can do 70% rates and 100% rates. I have 30% expo set for both of those. Let me make sure my camera's running, just so I don't talk for nothing. Yep. So we'll do a control test. Seems fine. Okay. So we'll launch in 70%, and then we'll just fly around a little bit, go up to 100%, do a few tricks, and then take her in for a landing. So here we go. Sounds good? All right, let's go up. So as you can see, it flies really, really smooth and nice. So this is slow here, about half throttle. So we'll just start with, I'll try not to get too far away because it's hard to see the plane when you're far away. So we'll start with coordinated turn. You can see kind of how just absolutely beautiful it is in the air. So this is 70% rate. So we'll flip up to 100, and then I'll show you a few things. Now, I've only been flying about 3 months, so, you know, I'm not an expert here, but so here's some basic stuff. So here's a loop. You can loop really easily, no problem. Let's see. So, yeah, you can fly upside down, no problem. So here I am flying upside down. What else? Yeah, flips are, so I can flip pretty quickly. Let's see, is there anything else? Oh yeah, knife edges. For some reason, I'm not very good at these. I think maybe an 843 prop is not enough. I think I need to get more speed to do an effective knife edge with this rudder, but I'll give one a try and you can kind of judge for yourself. Oh. So there's an attempt at it. So you can see it's not too good. I think it's a combination of, you know, me and the plane. Yeah, mostly the power. If I had more power, I think I could get it done. Let's see. So I think I'll probably cut the rest of the video unless I can, you know, little things that I might figure out to say. What else? Yeah, like I said, I recommend this for, look at that, that's hands off there. Here, let's try it. Let me show you how well it flies hands off. So we'll kind of get at an angle where you can see. And then here's hands off, no touching. So yeah, not bad, yeah. I suppose with more power or moving the CG around, I could play with that. It's actually quite good.
Time remaining 1 minute.
By the way, yeah, I've been at about half throttle the whole time. Well, I'm 3/4 here. Here's full throttle. Actually, yeah, full throttle isn't very impressive with this prop. But trust me, if you put a bigger prop, oh yeah, another thing I was gonna say. I have okay, so another thing is I have an amp meter, and I actually measured the current draw on this thing, and it comes out to 11 amps full throttle with this particular prop, which means that I could put a bigger prop on here even with this 18 amp. But if I was to rebuild it or build it with parts I want, I'd probably go with a 25 or 30 amp and maybe maybe a bigger motor too, because then you can just grow into it. You just gotta restrain yourself out of the gate. All right, so there's my 4 minutes. So let's just bring her in for a landing. And that's that. All right. And I don't know why, but for some reason, the plane always lands with its prop horizontally. So that makes me tempted to put a, take off the prop saver and put a real prop on there. But obviously, with the belly landing, if you don't land with the prop horizontal like that, then you could run into problems. So there's your trade-off. All right, so that's the end of my 4-minute flight. My battery is probably about half depleted. So I'm gonna put the same battery up in the air for another 4 minutes after this review, and then fly another battery after that, because this thing's a lot of fun. So to wrap up, yeah, I definitely recommend this plane for anybody that can handle it, which is probably not a never flown before beginner, but if you kind of have the muscle memory down for keeping the plane level and are ready for a 4-channel, then I would say this would be a great first 4-channel plane. So I highly recommend it in terms of what it is, which is just a great flying sport plane. This is not too difficult to build. Anything I would do differently, I would probably paint it, because it's such a good plane. I want it to last, as long as it can. And by not painting it, it probably won't last quite as long. But if and when I build another one, assuming that I build a bunch more flight test models and then come back to this one, I'll definitely paint it. I recommend going with at least a 25 amp ESC. I got an 18 in this one. Probably the bigger motor too. This motor's, you can see you can do most things with this motor and ESC, and even this somewhat slow prop. But, assuming you can hold yourself back, it's always better to have more than you need than not as much as you need. I should also mention that I've flown this thing probably 30, 40 times, so about 4 hours in the air, and maybe 3 or 4 somewhat close calls, but no crashes yet, which is great. My first 3 planes that I built from flight test, which were the Nutball, Fire, and Bloody Baron, I crashed those things many times. So going from those, which crash sometimes for no reason at all, to this, which just does what you tell it to every time, plus the little bit extra experience is really kind of cemented my addiction into this hobby. So I hope that was helpful and will help you decide if the Bloody Baron is the next plane you'd like to build. And with that, I hope you have a good day, and thank you very much.